You're listening to the Raw Reaction on the AngryMarks Podcast Network.
But
Are you just there visiting? You just there visiting?
Yes, I'm there for a short term, probably about a week. But yeah, fun times in the ATL. So
was there a popular escort that you wanted to see that drove you to Atlanta?
No. You know what? I wish there was, but there was an accident the last time I was here, and unfortunately, she's no longer with us anymore. But that's the last we'll speak of her on the air.
Oh man. Anyway, geez, did you watch Raw tonight?
I did. It was an interesting Raw. There were some high points. There were some low points. There were some mid points. I don't know. I think it was a sort of packed show.
What was your favorite moment of tonight's Raw?
I loved the moment at the end, or the segment at the end with Charlotte. She is so good on the mic. However, what I was actually hoping for was for her to throw what's her name back in the ring, Sasha Banks back into the ring with Ric Flair. Have Ric Flair sort of cover her up, or no, don't beat her up anymore, or whatever. And then literally have her be like, oh, wait a second, go ahead. And have it just be a complete ruse.
Yeah, I thought Flair was going to be in on it too. I thought it was going to be a big. But I don't know. Flair looked like such a jabroni. He started crying. Yeah,
I was sort of tacky. Unless this is going to lead up to the same thing happening at the pay-per-view, where he's in Sasha Banks' corner, or comes out there towards the end of the match and gets involved for Charlotte.
Why is he always crying?
I don't know. Apparently he's back with WWE. Apparently he's re-signed or renewed his contract or something. So that's a good thing. He's entertaining when he comes out usually. But
yeah, he's got a new manager that I think is done a great job of getting him back in WWE. His agent, Team Ivan, has been doing a fantastic job.
Dude, Team Ivan under the tutelage of Team David Harrick.
Whoa.
They're making
moves.
TeamShot.com.
They're making moves, making $1 million moves.
Dude, and that's where you can do all of your Christmas shopping at Shot.com.
Those websites where the people sell stuff, they mark stuff up more than anybody. They're just don't they realize everyone knows the address of Amazon? Just go to Amazon. Guys, Amazon basically rules the world.
Well, no, but they have to mark this stuff up because they have a half dozen people collecting commissions on the sale. Team Ivan, Harrick's getting a piece of it, and Gould's probably getting a piece of that. And Fitz is probably getting a piece of that or something.
I bought a pair of socks that were $29. White socks. There's 58 people getting commissions on the pair of socks.
Wow, what a deal.
Anyway, yeah, I was a little surprised that Charlotte and Sasha were actually going to fight again. What do you think of the idea of the Iron Man match?
You know what? I think it's very sexist. It should be an Iron Woman match.
Well, it kind of is. It's only 30 minutes.
Yeah. You know what? The time limit is fine if that's all they can do, but I don't know. It makes it feel sort of inferior to a real Iron Man match because we know a real Iron Man match is an hour long, unless they do something to lengthen it where they have 2 falls each or something, and then they continue in overtime for another 15 minutes. That would be cool.
I just don't get why they're having him fight again. Save it for a later date, But I guess because technically Charlotte can invoke a rematch clause now, but they've exchanged it so many times at this point. But it is what it is. I mean, of course they're going to deliver. It'll be a good match. I don't know.
Do you think they do it as the main event? I don't know what other matches are coming up necessarily on this pay-per-view. From top to bottom, I think you have a pretty good idea of some of the matches, but this is sort of one of those rush pay-per-views at the end of the year. Do you think this could be the main event?
I think it will be. I do, because there's no way they're going to have Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns headline. So I would agree with you. I think the Iron Woman match will be what they use to close the show.
Okay. You know what? I'm not adverse to that. I think that would be a pretty cool thing because I think didn't they close the show at did they close the show at Survivor Series? Or not Survivor Series?
Not this one, the one with the Hell in the Cell they did.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, and they put on a hell of a match at Hell in the Cell. I think they definitely put that on at the end. I mean, the Iron Man match, that's something that's not broken out maybe once every like 3-4 years, really. Yeah, I mean, with star players in it, that's or main event players in it. It doesn't happen too often. So I think this could be the main event. Again, this is a sort of a secondary pay-per-view towards the end of the year, so I think they're sort of mailing it in. But yeah, I'd like to see. I'd definitely going to see this being a main event.
Well, I'm for it either way. I think it's going to be a great match between them. I think you're right. I think Ric Flair might be in on this whole thing, and he might help Charlotte win this back yet again. Who knows?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, that would actually be a good lead-in for a rematch coming up at WrestleMania if they do the Flair swerve here.
You never know who's who and who's with who. I know Killer Kev, for instance, is one of those crazy alt-right people. I don't know if you knew that.
You know what? I saw him commenting on some articles, some Alan West articles. It was mostly just
Killer Kev is alt-right.
Number of emojis.
You heard it here first.
He truly is an alt-right fanatic.
He really is. He is a fanatic in general.
He said Steve Bannon is actually too liberal for him.
Wow.
Yeah. I was a little surprised. I didn't think he went too liberal for that, but I guess not Nazi Steve Bannon is.
What are you talking about? How about the cruiserweights tonight? We got two matches tonight. We got Rich Swann versus T.J. Perkins, which I thought was the better of the two matches. Not because I wasn't totally entertained by Jack Gallagher, who I think is like the greatest wrestler ever. It's just I thought that Swann versus Perkins was a pretty big time match for the cruiserweight division. I love Jack Gallagher. I just think his opponent sucked, and he fought the same opponent on 205, so that's why I wasn't so excited about it. But I guess we'll start with Perkins and Swann. What'd you think of that one?
You know what? This is a solid match. I think Swann, he has the potential to be sort of the breakout of the cruiserweight divisions outside of the Brian Kendrick. I think he has probably the most personality and the most likability, and has potential to sort of be a breakout star there.
They are really investing into his development. I mean, they're trying to do some things with some of the characters now. Like they got Neeson Gulak doing their thing. They got Bailey going after. Bailey is trying to, I guess, have relations with Cedric Alexander. I think that's interesting. And I think it's interesting that Bailey chose Cedric Alexander. Just saying, thought it was an interesting choice. I don't know. I think it's working out. T.J. Perkins is on his way down, unfortunately for him, but he's pretty bland. I mean, outside of his entrance, I don't really know too much about him outside of his cool finisher, but I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, you know what? I think he was sort of the John Cena of the cruiserweight division, and it didn't really get over the 13-year-old segment.
No.
I mean, hey, cool, like, he likes video games. I like video games. Like,
that's exactly what they were trying to do. They were like, oh, let's get a gamer, and if we get a gamer, the kids will buy his stuff. And like, he looks like such a douche when he does the dab. I mean, it's terrible. Like, stop doing that, dude. Just like, please stop doing that. But
yeah, it's even his backstage segments and sort of like his entrance, sounds like 12-year-old boyish.
How about my man Jack Gallagher? What'd you think of him?
You know what? It was a pretty decent performance there.
I love him. You talk about technical wrestling. He's the most technical you'll get, brother.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I think that he could be. He needs. I think he needs a little more name recognition. Alexander, I think, has that right now. I don't know Gallagher is going to get to that point, but that's what 205. That's what it needs.
Gallagher's
205.
going to be the best.
What's that?
I think Gallagher is going to be like the best guy in the WWE. I think the crowd's going to love him.
Well, that's the thing, though. They need to develop his character a little bit more. I mean, what's his whole story?
He's got a great theme music.
Okay.
Did you like the theme music?
I mean, his theme music was good. What else? Is he the guy? Who's the guy from Europe? I liked him a couple weeks ago. Who tagged with what's his name? Who tagged with D. Brian Kendrick and got a beatdown?
Noam Dar.
Yeah. I thought he was. I thought he had some potential there, but I don't know. I think his name sort of holds him back a little bit.
I'm a big Jack Gallagher guy, man. He's awesome. He's the third member of the Vaudevillains.
Whatever happened to the villains? Where are they wrestling these days?
They're on SmackDown, but they just get jobbed. I like the Vaudevillains. I wish they were treated better.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he should become the third man. I mean, it's like the New Day. They have 3 members. It was sort of weird. Is Cole was like, I think during the match, he definitely said something about these young men or this young man or something like that. Like that makes it sound like, I don't know, almost patronizing for these wrestlers. Like I don't know how old these guys are, but I mean unless they're like 18 years old, he should just be referring to them as superstars or WWE superstars or competitors or something. I mean it makes it sound like he's like some like high school kid who like just graduated.
Well, I don't know, man. It was a crazy Raw, dude. In a good way. It was all over the place.
Yeah, it was more nonstop stuff going on. I mean,
yeah, I was interested. I mean, how about, dude? I thought I don't know about you, but I really, really enjoyed the Rusev, Enzo Amore stuff and Lana tonight.
That was that one of your highlights?
What was
my one or two? What were your big ones?
I think that was it. I think when Lana made Enzo literally chub up in her hotel room, and as she gets him to that point, then Rusev gives him the worst beatdown I've ever seen in a hotel room in WWE. I mean, he broke him through a table. He broke a lamp over him. I mean, he killed him. That beating was vicious.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, have you ever tried to get in a fight with a full chub?
That's not good. There's no way. I mean, if you have a chub, your instinct is to run away. If you're in a fight. Yeah,
it's like that's like you're exposed for maximum damage.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fight with a full chub. That's a good point. I was thinking that myself. I mean, he's full chub. How is he gonna fight full chub?
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? Not only that, but if even if you do fight and like you know what, you come out okay, you're doing okay, and Rusev go back and be like, hey, you know what? That's like, yeah, he was fighting me, but he had a huge erection. Like that destroys any credibility that winning a fight would take away. It's like, wait a second, it's like that's sort of fucking weird. Like I wouldn't want to fight a dude with a fucking massive erection.
I think it's a great idea.
But it was cool angle there, where Lana's using a little bit of her sex appeal for something outside of the ring, not just to get the fans to.
Why did they do that though? Like I don't understand why they had to do that to Enzo.
You know what? I think they're trying to build. I ultimately think they're trying to build Cass versus Rusev,
and that's why.
I think so. I feel like this is sort of the beginning and the end of Enzo and Cass, and it might take a couple months, but I feel like Enzo is gonna get his ass beat by Rusev, and eventually Cass is gonna have to come in and save him, which he's sort of done already. But I don't know. I feel like this is just a point where he's like, you know what, you're fucking goofing around too much, you're not taking shit seriously, and like I just need to cut my losses with you. And what are we talking about?
We'll go back to Enzo.
Okay, we'll talk about erections some more.
You know, the Enzo erection thing makes me think, Vic, how would you have dealt with an erection in school if it happened too frequently?
Oh God. Shit. I didn't know what to do. I just didn't stand up. I just didn't leave for like 20 minutes.
Did that ever happen to you? That did happen to me once in school where
Yeah, it definitely happened to me.
I didn't want to leave the class, so when the class ended.
It's with Lisa Zendel like 4 times a day.
Oh man, dude. No, but I'm saying like you don't want to get up and leave the class because if you stand up, you might get, somebody suggested you do the 12 o'clock.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, that's good if you're like in sweatpants or like mesh shorts or something, but otherwise that's sort of tough to do. Like, I guess you do it in like the waistband of like your underwear.
What would you think about sending, I don't know, high school age, I guess, guys to school, anywhere from 13 to 17, and these poor dudes, you put them in like white t-shirts that cut off like, I don't know, around the waistline, so they're not long, tight t-shirts, and they have to wear mesh shorts, no underwear. You have a bunch of sideways tees walking around. You know what I mean? That'd be awesome. How cool that everybody's standing at attention. Everybody.
Well, you know what? You got to be careful though, because what if it's an all-boys school?
Oh, that's not good. Then you don't want to do that.
That would not be cool.
You know what would be great though? If WWE played a storyline with a wrestler that just constantly got an erection. Maybe that's Enzo's storyline. Maybe that's where they're going.
You know what? That'd be good TV. It'd be like Val Venus with his
I'd watch it.
Some erection storylines.
I'd watch it. But
yeah. It's better than 90% of the other shit they have.
Dude, I want to see Jack Gallagher win honestly, who's like U.S. champion? Like, forget him. Forget Reigns. Give it to Gallagher, dude.
You think so?
I love him. He's awesome. He's different. Instead of the same shit.
You know what I hate? Besides, I don't even want to say I hate Reigns. I hate the fact that he's keeping his title and he's challenging for the WWE Championship. I think he should have to. They should say, you know what, you got to hand this off, or make him dump it, or have him dump it.
I don't like that either. I think it's like if you have one belt, that's it. It really happens way too often these days.
My problem is that it sort of gives him an out if he doesn't win. Like he's like, okay, well, hey, I'm still the U.S. champ,
right?
And I don't like that.
How about Kevin Owens getting Stephanie McMahon to book Seth Rollins against the Big Show tonight? I was surprised to see Big Show go out there, huh?
Yeah, Big Show hasn't been around in a while, but you know what I mean. He's got he's got his foreclosure attorney fees to pay for all those strip malls he invested in.
Can I tell you something? Big Show doesn't look very healthy at all.
Nah, he's up there in years, and he took some time off. I remember a couple of years ago, he took like 6 months or a year off, and he was saying, he's like, if I kept on doing this shit, I'd probably be dead in like a couple of years.
Yeah.
But I think he just lets himself go on the road. I mean, I can see it happening, but at the same time, I mean, when you're Big Show, you have like your own freaking bus. Like, you should be able to have a fucking treadmill in there or something. Like, seriously, like, you should be able to keep yourself in sort of okay shape.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't want to like travel with other people. I mean, I get like they don't want to be up on each other, but it just seems interesting that he travels in that bus and he led such an unhealthy lifestyle, but that to each his own in WWE. But really odd match. Kevin Owens is barking at Big Show, who's in control of the match most of the match, and Big Show couldn't take it anymore. He kicked Kevin Owens' ass and walked away, and Seth Rollins wins the match by countout. Very odd match altogether.
Yeah, it was weird because, I mean, Big Show hasn't been around, and he was sort of, for like the couple of years he was around before, he was sort of the king of the turns. Like, he was a face, he was a heel, he was a face, he was a heel. And tonight comes out, okay, you're thinking, okay, well, he's coming out as a heel. And then, sure enough, turns on Owens, and he's a face.
Right. So, I don't know. I just don't like the idea of Big Show just deciding, like, it's not worth my time to try and win the match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Like, I get, you know what? I get he's sort of beyond him in a way. I mean, he doesn't need to be doing that. I understand that, but at the same time, like, treat it with bitterness, and I don't think he did. But I don't know. What did you think about Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens?
I'm back. Sorry.
Okay. What do you think about Zayn and Owens match a little bit later?
How many times are we going to do this? How many times are we going to have Zayn versus Owens?
I hate the fact that it was just absolutely given away. I mean, if they set it up for like...
Right. There should be a reason.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? They set it up where it was like Owens like literally like walked up to Zayn at the beginning of the match and just kicked him in the nuts and got DQ'd. And then they said, okay, you know what? It's going to be a no DQ match next week. Zayn and Owens. That's fine. Have some build up to it. Don't literally have it as... I mean, I get that Zayn's been getting fucking killed as far as like just his build and where he is with WWE right now. But don't fucking bury him like that. Don't give him in the ring at this time, which I feel like he's a half a step. I mean, he's getting buried by Braun Strowman every week, and he's fighting with Mick Foley. I've seen that they're talking about maybe trading him over to the SmackDown brand, but I mean, you know what? If you destroy his currency too much, he's going to be something similar on SmackDown, sort of the underdog who just doesn't get the job done.
You know what, man? I remember when I first saw NXT, and I was like, I saw Sami Zayn, Neville, and all these guys, and I really thought to myself, Sami Zayn is great because now we have jobbers that are athletic. And I then watched him like ascend up to the NXT champion, and I'm like, oh, he's going to make it. But now he's the athletic jobber that I initially thought he would be.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I want to go on a tangent. And I know you watched pay-per-view. I did not. I need to watch it probably tomorrow. I'll watch at least a couple matches you recommended. What's the story with James Ellsworth? Where the hell did he come from?
I don't know, but Ellsworth has won over the minds and hearts of America. And tomorrow night he has a chance to walk away with the world title. And do you know why he screwed over Ambrose?
Because he's beaten AJ Styles before, and he's going to do it again.
Awesome. That's the only reason, because he's like, he thinks he can actually beat. He literally thinks he could beat AJ, so he screwed Ambrose out of the title. That is amazing.
That's pretty impressive.
I think it's great.
I don't know. Kev, where did James Ellsworth come from? Is it Ring of Honor, or I don't know. Does he have new
right.
Stephanie McMahon?
No, just a relatively unknown person from the independents.
How did he get? Who's behind him then? What's his fan base?
No idea.
Let's say he is from American Combat Wrestling, Big Time Wrestling, and First State Wrestling.
First State Wrestling?
Yep.
I've had some First State Wrestling before. I'm a big fan of First State Wrestling as long as it's consensual. That's one of the few times I don't mind an erection during fights.
He was also a Rosebud.
What? You know what? That sounds about right. He was Rosebud number 4.
His pre-match promo versus Braun Strowman. Any man with 2 hands has a fighting chance. I like that.
Oh.
If Ellsworth wins the title, Ellsworth's dead. He has no chance.
He's going to win the title. Well, you know what? I could see him winning this match on Tuesday because I can see Dean Ambrose coming out and just beating the living piss out of him and getting him disqualified, or getting AJ Styles disqualified.
Could he win, though? Could he hit AJ with the no chin to win it?
I don't think so.
No chin music. I love that.
Maybe I'm the only one who doesn't appreciate him. I don't know. I certainly don't appreciate him as much as everybody else.
I don't think everyone else does. I think me and maybe 8 other people think it's funny. The thing that I think is troublesome is it's not like this is with an established champion. This is AJ Styles' big chance in his big title run. And it really, they don't need to do this right now to AJ Styles. I think it makes him look bad.
What's that, with Ellsworth?
Yeah, it's like it's degrading to him.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it helps establish him as a heel. Continue to establish him as a heel if he does go over else.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Bailey goes over Alicia Fox. No surprise there. How about the tussle in Texas? Mark Henry beats Titus O'Neil in literally like 5 seconds.
You know what? Poor Titus O'Neil. Like, I don't know if he needs Darren Young to make him great again or what the deal is, but poor Titus. I mean, he's not gotten, ever since his suspension, he's been getting freaking buried.
Well, I mean,
he must cut a decent backstage promo, but he can't wrestle away.
well, he put his hands on Vince McMahon. I mean, who would have thought he would have, I think they got to cut their losses with Titus. He's either got to be an announcer or something, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, he does, you know what, he does decent promos backstage. I wouldn't even mind him managing a tag team and saying, look, it's like I was a tag team champion, I'm going to manage you guys and get involved sometimes.
Well,
so what do you think about this the tag team record? That's a record as of midnight tomorrow, or midnight next Monday, and this 3-way match.
Well, you know what? Tonight's match ended in a double disqualification because New Day interfered with Sheamus, Cesaro, and Gallows Anderson. And, the New Day are really pissing off the crowd because I think they're getting behind Sheamus and Cesaro. But I know I'm not making a joke. I still think Demolition's coming out. And I don't know if you saw it. Demolition actually responded to New Day in a YouTube video. Did you see this? I'm not kidding you.
I did not. Why don't you give me the gist of it?
I actually got pretty excited when I saw it. So Bill Apter, or whatever his name is, or one of those guys, was interviewing Demolition at a indie show, and he's like, do you want to respond to the New Day's comments on Monday Night Raw? And Axe grabs the mic. He goes, hey, listen, I know the New Day are trying to make a name for themselves. I hear they're really good kids. I hear they're really good people. But from my perspective, they're not going to get this record, and if they want the record, they have to come through one team, and that's Demolition, and that ain't going to be easy to do. And I don't know what that was all about. And Demolition literally looks like they're 60 years old each. But that's what he said. I'm not even kidding around.
Wow. That's impressive.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they thought nobody would see it, but, it's all over the internet. So if you just Google in Demolition response to New Day, you can watch it. It's short. It's like a 30-second clip, but Axe basically responds and says, you got to beat us to hold the record.
Wow. That could be quite the matchup.
I'm not saying it'll be the matchup. I think they might come out and try to interfere and cost the New Day the titles, which would be absolutely awesome.
I'm not saying that would be a bad thing.
So Sunday or Monday would tie the record, hopefully they get, knocked off. But Gallows and Anderson suck so bad. Like, it's not even funny. AKA Tensai and Tensai. The Tensai brothers.
Tensai and Brodus Clay.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I feel bad for Gallows and Anderson. I mean, they had the potential to do so much.
Yep. But it just didn't materialize at all. You know what was a good match? Jericho Reigns, man. Jericho almost pulled it off. He told Owens not to come out there. He's not accepting his apologies. And, man, Jericho, the crowd got into it. Man, I love the Walls of Jericho because I can't remember the last time he won a match with it. Maybe like Neville at Beast from the East is the last time I remember him winning a match with it. But it was so cool to just like, the crowd was so into it. They really wanted Jericho to win the U.S. title. But it was for not Owens' interference actually cost him the match.
They really hate Roman Reigns. And Jericho is doing possibly some of his best work ever.
They do hate Roman Reigns with a passion. But it probably would have been cool for Jericho to win that match, but
I wouldn't mind seeing Jericho win that match with a little bit of interference or backfired interference from Seth Rollins that would basically take the championship off Reigns, and then let Seth Rollins and Jericho fight for the championship and have Jericho go over him.
Works for me. Jericho's the man.
I mean, Jericho probably deserves a run with the belt. The main strap.
I agree. Why not? I mean, he draws. That's what, like, all the dumbasses, and I want to really throw this out there. All these dumbasses that are like, oh, well, you don't put the title on an established guy because he doesn't need it. He'll get the crowd reaction anyway. Dude, no. If you want to sell live tickets, if you can advertise your best guy as champion, as defending his title or will have his title, that's going to sell tickets. Seriously. I think about it right now. If Hulk Hogan won the WWE title, even though he can't even walk, and you advertised him as WWE champion, he'd sell so many tickets, everybody would go. You know, same with The Rock, or like, you put the title on your biggest draw, period. Seriously, I don't even want to hear this anymore. I understand the Intercontinental title. I understand maybe to a degree the tag titles. But no, the WWE title, the world title, the number one title, it needs to go on your biggest draw, period. If the guy can't draw, you don't give him the title, period. Your biggest draw is your champion. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah. Or at least, not necessarily the champion, but at least in the fight for the championship, one of the 3 or 4 top guys.
I think they should be the champion. I actually think they should be the champion. That's what you're selling. You're selling the chase. I love Kevin Owens, but he's not your top guy. Like, he shouldn't be the champion.
I don't know. I don't mind the Kevin Owens, because I think the thing is, you have to have the people who hold it and you don't feel the same way about to make it more of a chase. I mean, it could.
They're not. This Kevin Owens character sucks. They don't have the. Like, they've just killed him over the last 2 months. I mean, it's funny, the stuff with Jericho and all, but Owens is a wrecking machine. They need to portray him that way. I mean, his character, they were nailing it out of the park for like a year and a half with him. And then they made him this chicken shit heel that's like, needs help to win every match. Like, that's not who he is.
I hear what you're saying, brother. I hear what you're saying.
Like, honestly, like when he powerbombed Rollins on the apron, I'm like, finally, that's Owens we should be seeing, you know? Owens is an ass kicker, you know, and that's how you gotta portray him. And, you know, I get it, now that he has a title, you know, but they're making him look like a weak champion. You don't want to do that with your title.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's sort of ridiculous. I mean, give him some outs for some of the matches to build up the heat. But the thing is, I don't think he needs the heat. That's one thing he's good at, is drawing heat.
Exactly. He's the perfect heel. You don't need to have him acting like a little wuss, you know? I'm with you 110%.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, he should be acting like a tough guy. He's like 6'3", 6'4", close to pounds, pretty big guy, and he's a champion. That should be encouraged by itself.
Well, you know, what's that?
Anything else you want to go over?
No, that's it. I mean, I think we have a good Raw pay-per-view coming. I mean, I'm excited about it. I think it was a good Raw, and you know, there's a lot going on. I think it's gonna be good to see how everything plays out. I'm really excited about the New Day stuff next week, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, it's really looking forward to. I pray to God Evolution comes out and does that.
Well, it'll definitely be good. So that's pretty much the whole show, brother.
Cool deal, man. Well, as usual, the pleasure, she was all mine.
The pleasure was all on the side of the table, man. And remember, folks, when you get an erection, go 12 o'clock or wear a very, very baggy shirt or baggy sweatshirt with khaki pants. Thank you.
Well
Kev,
said.
anything you want to add before we get out of here?
What's that?
I said, Kev, anything you want to get before we get out of here? I'll take that as a no. So, Mr. Killer Kev, why don't you take us home? Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Big Dick, Tensai, we'll see you next week.
Take it easy, brother. Kev, see you around.